So, hello and good afternoon from my side. It's great to be here on the stage with you guys, also here at late hour, still there. And as you just seen in the session from the product plenary from Terra here on the main stage, the Keanu platform is all about making transformation real. So not someday, but already today. And I'm Kai, like I was introduced, and I'm responsible for the analysis at SNP. And yeah, I'll walk you through one of the engines that drives the change forward, and the name of the product is Agility Index. So this session is all about driving the Agility Index with data, with clarity, and with impact. So let's get started directly and take a look at what agility actually means in time of change and global transformation. Because technology changes, market shifts, new regulations emerge almost overnight. And with that, you see not only our Keanu logo switching, but also the market, the technology, and that brings the pressure, but also the opportunities. And therefore, we want to focus only on the opportunities today. So when opportunity appears, we always have to ask ourselves, are we ready to really take the advantage of it? And most of us believe, yeah, we do, because we know our system, we know our people, we know the skill set, and inconsistencies, yeah, absolutely impossible. But today, I would like to challenge that belief a little bit and take one step backwards. And that's also a good transition, because one step backwards from the assumption perspective, what I was mentioning, those are one of the biggest blockers we have in transformations. And one of the biggest blockers as well are the things we think we know, like our system, like our data, like the scope of the complete project. But what if that certainty is just an illusion? And with that, I would like to bring up one of my favorite quotes by the world-renowned conductor Benjamin Sander. And he once said at a World Global Forum, it's all invented. And what he meant with that is that the limitations we think are real are actually just assumptions. And nowadays that's more true than in transformation projects, and especially in transformation planning. So when assumptions replace facts, we start flying completely blind. And that's when a transformation gets really risky. So not because of the bad strategy, not because of the resources or the budget, but because of invincible complexity. And our scope starts creeping because nobody saw how fragmented your landscape really is. And to bring up another quote here by Hans Rosling from Factfulness, our instincts distort reality. So we simplify, we project stability. And in transformation, it's not about the instinct. It's about how ready is your system to migrate. So the real questions become, are we agile enough to act, to scale, to lead in this changing world? As individuals, as complete companies, and for sure together with our landscapes. And to be honest, I would love to answer all those questions at once, but I think that's impossible. And I'm not only thinking that, I know it as well. But the good thing is, we can start at least at some point. And that's why I want to ask you, how ready is your landscape? And the next question to follow up directly, where would you start if you want to answer that? And I think the answer has always to be data. And yes, data is the home turf of SNP. We know what we're doing there, and we believe we are the best in that. And that's exactly why we built the Agility Index, to turn the facts and our experience into a self-consumable analysis for business users, for program leads, for CIOs, across all different kind of entities, across regions, across the systems, to answer quickly the questions with clarity. Are we ready to migrate, to harmonize, to scale? So the Agility Index reveals the as-is state of your specific landscape. It shows the patterns, it replaces the assumptions, and it helps you to lead with confidence and help you to answer my earlier raised question. So let me repeat it once more. How ready is your landscape? And we know what we're talking about, because every year we run more than 1,300 analysis, and that's only extending. We also migrate, sorry for that, we also have analyzed 5.7 billion data points over the history of our analysis. So we built it not just yesterday, we started there 25 years ago. We also checked the 250 million custom code objects, and we're extending here a lot of KPIs together with our partner SmartShift. So that all comes together in our 80 KPIs, or 80 plus KPIs, and it's evolving week by week. So we're increasing the number, we're increasing the value we can provide with the Agility Index. And that's why I want to repeat the question again. How ready is your landscape for real? And that's not a rhetoric question, because I know we can answer that. We can show it to you. Because in the end, you need to know what you migrate, and therefore you need to understand you can't migrate what you don't understand. So we've all heard it in a different context. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But what if it is already broken and you just can't see it? In many landscapes, complexity builds over time and especially silence. So for example, custom codes evolving and developing over 25 years, and you have no idea how many are you still using, what is the documentation about, who wrote them in the original. Other example would be redundant document types, unused payment terms, forgotten custom fields. So you don't see them until they block your transformation. One customer told us, we thought we had our complete system under control until we ran the scan. And that's the point. You can't migrate what you don't understand, and you definitely can't fix what you don't see. And the Agility Index makes those blind spots visible. You can imagine it like a full body scan for your ERP landscape. So it analyzes real configurations, transactional and metadata, and the mentioned over 80 KPIs. And it's structured across our 5 core dimensions. So the first one is data quality. Then we have technical complexity. We have archived data, system integrations, and geographical scope. And it's not a one-time check. So it's a foundation of an ongoing readiness loop. So not just a few spot checks, not another spreadsheet, but a structured, usage-based scan across all layers of your system. So let me repeat that and summarize it. So we have real transactional data, we have real customizing, we have real architecture. So the complete analysis is real, and it's repeatable, and it's already in use. And here you can see the standard approach, what we have when we run the Agility Index. So first of all, like in every analysis, we start with the raw data collection. So we consider here the transactional tables, the configuration records, the usage logs by different kind of sources. So for sure, SAP is our home turf. That's where we're coming from, and that's where we run the most of the analysis. But we can also do Salesforce. We can also do SuccessFactors. We extend it to Ariba, to different kind of ERP systems, like Oracle, for example. And in the second step of this data flow, you see the transformation and aggregation. And that's where our own logic comes in as well. So we normalize the structures, we clean the fields, we group the redundant entries, and flag the inactive ones. So we scored the usage patterns in addition to that to make even the value and the understanding better. And we have here two options. Either we do it on-premise and we aggregate directly the results and bring them into our system, or we do it via the enhanced analysis, where selected transactional data is replicated into our cloud for deep cloud-based processing. And just a quick note, so tomorrow we'll dive deeper here directly in a second lab. So I will present there the enhanced analysis and what kind of options we deliver with that. And the third and final point here is the output. So what you get out of the Agility Index. And no matter the setup I was just describing, you always get the same output. Clean, comparable KPIs, so complete system facts that helps you to understand how ready your system is through benchmarking and for the transformation. So everything flows together into the Agility Index, and it can be your single starting point for any migration-related content within Kyano. But still, with that analysis and with those results, you can still have one landscape, but many realities. So many interpretation options, different personas to look at the data. And so even in a single company, the results and the things diverge. So you have the different countries, you have different processes, business units, and all have their own customizing. And that's why the Agility Index can't stop with one single company code and also can't stop at one single scan. So we've completed over 30,000 scans in the history of our analysis across all industries, sizes, and geographies. And that gives you not only the option to internally benchmark your system, but also external via industry peer benchmark. So you can answer questions like, how complex are we compared to our peers? Are we automating enough? Are we maintaining structures that others have already optimized? And here's always a question, are the results actionable? So I can bring up here one of our customer examples with KSB. And Michael Greth, the CIO at KSB, said, with the Agility Index, we can continuously compare system logic of our worldwide entities with zero manual effort and clear benchmarks. So in this case, the benchmark completely fulfilled the purpose. It made differences visible across all countries, across all systems, but it didn't stop there. It also helped them to understand which differences mattered, which one could be influenced by KSB, and where change was actually possible. Because some KPIs simply show you the gap, but others give you the direction and the lever to act on. And that's why we introduced another concept within the Agility Index, and we call it action KPIs. Because not every KPI is built equally, and not every insight is meant to trigger the change immediately, but some are. So for example, should I clean up my system? Should I harmonize it? Should I dig deeper together with one of our partners? Or should I leave it in a certain area because it's already working? And best thing is, all of those evaluations are changing depending on your specific and individual journey. Because I can promise you one thing. No matter your journey, we as SNP will adapt to it. So maybe it's your S4 migration you have in front of you. Maybe you're in the middle of a carve-out, divestiture, or merger. Some of our customers just want to simplify, want to streamline their landscapes, clean up, and gain the control again. And that's why the Agility Index is completely built to adapt. You define the scenario. You decide what really matters to you. And we shape the analysis to fit exactly your needs. So whether you're scaling up, slimming down, or shifting entirely, the Agility Index supports that in any scenario. And so you can select specifically your scenario you want to see. And then we have a pre-selection for the KPIs, what we think are the most important one, but you can for sure decide in the end what you want to focus on. Is it just the archiving area? Is it maybe just the business data, the data quality? And you can also do that individual within your company as well. So the settings are stored user specific. And so the next time you want to check something again, you want to see a trend, you can just log in and see exactly what happened since you checked it the last time. So you will receive exactly the insights and recommendations you need to move forward depending on your individual goal. So what does it actually look like when all of this comes together? You see up here a first screenshot of a real analysis. So it's a real scan with a real score based on real data. So what you're seeing here is our own system where we where we analyzed it, where we checked the configuration, where we checked the transaction logs and system usage, and we summarized it within our overall readiness of migration, broken down in those 5 key dimensions I mentioned earlier. And the best thing is, every star you can see here is not an opinion, it's not an assumption, it's a real data point. So, and we underline that with trend lines, industry benchmarking, and KPI details, all pre-built and integrated. And the best thing is, it's just the beginning. So we just started to evolving and developing our agility index. So we will add context, guidance, and real transformation support. So you've seen already the screenshot, but maybe you're still wondering if it's already real, is it already live? And if you haven't been up there at the booth where I maybe showed you within a demo, let's take a look. So now I hope you believe me that it is for real. It's already in the system, but transformation isn't only about seeing the result clearly. It's also about knowing what to do next. And let's be honest, even with the best data and within the best teams, sometimes you just get stuck. So what's worth fixing? What can wait? Where should we start? What should we prioritize? And that's why we've taken the next step. We've added some context to it. We added guidance. We've added interpretation. So our goal is here, your landscape continuously interpreted. And we want to achieve that for sure, together with AI. It was already a big topic today, but it's not a crazy new tool, but it's a shift in how we support the transformation from analysis to interpretation, from reporting to direction. And that's what we call the next readiness loop, where data doesn't end in a file, but flows directly into the action. Because for us, transformation isn't just a task, it's more about a rhythm. It's data, advisory, transformation. And that's what it takes to lead transformation for real. Not just a dashboard, not just project plans, the data that reveals what's really there, the advisory that helps you to act, the transformation that actually moves the system forward. And that's what the Agility Index is becoming. Not just a report, not just a scan, but the continuous loop, data, advisory, transformation. Is it staying static? Is it shifting? Is it improving or declining? And the snapshot of your system is already helpful. That's what we did for the last 25 years. And it shows you where you stand right now. But transformation isn't about one moment in time. It's about momentum, and that's why the real power of the Agility Index comes with continuity. You don't just want to know what's broken today. You want to know whether things are improving, drifting, or stagnating. And you also want to see your goal to where you aim for. So are your archiving efforts reducing your data volume? Are your user permissions getting tighter quarter by quarter? So these patterns reveal real progress. And they give you the confidence to not only make the decisions, but also to justify the investments and stay on track. Even in the most complex environment. And that's why we're building more than just a snapshot engine. We're building the feedback loop with trend visibility, scheduled insights, and zero manual effort. Because staying in control isn't about reacting. It's about spotting the trend early and acting with intent. And that's also what the Freetime Low Group is doing. They are right now in the middle of their migration, and together with Clemens Vögele, who was earlier on stage with Terra, the decision was made to implement the Agility Index during their migration already, not after, to create a clear before and after view to understand the progress and the performance, and also to understand how much of innovation you can really use within your new system. And that decision pays off completely. They uncovered inconsistency in their business partner setup. They saw unexpected variation in the chart of accounts. And they found redundant material types being used across all different kind of plans. So it gave them clarity on where complexity hides. And also what needs to change to move forward. Or to put it in Clemens' own words, it shows us where the imbalance is and helps us to steer in the right direction. So today they decide to run quarterly scans to continuously track the standardization, to measure the progress, and identify where the innovation can have a real impact. So it's their individual and personal steering tool in the hand of their transformation leaders. So Freetime Low Group shows what happens when insights become a part of a day-to-day steering, not just once, but continuously. So of course, that's not always the case with all of our migration projects, with all of our customers. So most of our projects are still starting with one simple tool. And that's, I think all of you know it, it's Excel. Especially Excel versions like with 47 tabs, with names like version 12 _ final _ final. I think all of you have been there. Maybe all of you are still there at some points. But the thing I can promise you is you can't solve a migration with just spreadsheets. Because it takes way more. You can't just use the Excel when your decision rely on live system insights, and certainly not when things keep changing in the middle of the project. And at SNP, we know our strength. It's the home turf where I was mentioning earlier. It's the data. We bring the tooling to it, the skill set, and the experience to get the technical side right. But a migration is never just about the data. It's about transformation, and that takes more. It takes a complete ecosystem. And that's also what I want to mention here on my slide. So we don't go it alone. And that's why we built Kiano, our platform that brings it all together. The data, the advisory, the partner insights in one shared ecosystem. And that's exactly what we've built. One platform to analyze, to advise, to act with endless opportunities to connect the right insights with the right people at the right time. And this is what I mean when we talk about a platform. Not the collection of the tool, not the products in it itself, but a connected system with insights and action. And the Agility Index is embedded in the heart of the Kiano platform. it connects directly with the SNP extractor, it pulls in the enhanced analysis, and it links directly to the partner solutions within our newly deployed marketplace. And that means you extract once, but you can reuse those KPIs and analysis many times. So you see the KPIs, you see your trends, you see your comparisons, all in just one place. So let me show it to you what it looks like, not as a tool chain. I know it's a lot on this slide, but like all of migrations, it starts with the data from the bottom from your systems. We are integrating here from our data layers sources like SAP, Salesforce, SuccessFactors, Ariba, or Oracle. And within the ground layer, we bring together the meta and transactional data together with our migration context to contextualize it. And for us, it's like your data digital twin of your landscape. And then through our API layer and our deployed AI services, we can provide the real services where we are the expert in. It's the data analysis, it's the data migration, and it's the data management. And for sure, that leads to your data optimization. And I also want to mention here, we can't do that alone. And we have a lot of technical partners we have integrated already within our platform. So either with content or with own software solutions. And I just want to mention a few of them. So it's exciting, Vocus, SmarterSec, CDQ, Anuvo, SmartShift, and Tricentis. So now we are at the end of my presentation. I've shown you what we already have today, but I also want to quickly show it to you, what do we do tomorrow. So here you can see a quick roadmap of what we're planning to do. So for sure, we're just not stopping at those 89 KPIs, what we already have. So we will extend the KPI classes and the benchmarking with topics like IT security, HCM usage, ESG relevance, and for sure, deeper data quality signals. Secondly, the Copilot will evolve to your continuous transformation advisor. Then we will bring automation and security standards from the platform to you. And the final point is, on our long-term vision, we are building a full digital twin for your transformation. So you can simulate migration, propose mappings, and compare the outcomes. And therefore, you can just make better decisions before anything goes live. So now I'm really at the last slide of my presentation, and that leaves just one final question open. Are you ready to start for real with your analysis and with your migration preparation? So to have a finally prepared landscape for whatever scenario you're facing. So if you want to see more, please feel welcome to come upstairs to the foundation booth, to the migration or the manage area. And me and my colleagues will be there to help you understand even better what we can do already today and what will be the next steps we plan to do. Or just connect with us on LinkedIn, or just come by today evening at our party with just a beer, and we can start for sure a discussion about it. So thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of Transformation World.